This is an ABC News special report.
Hello, everyone. I'm Terry Moran coming to you from the Washington Bureau of ABC News, and we're coming on the air because of a major civil rights decision out of the United States Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has ruled that LGBT Americans are protected by the anti-discrimination laws of this country at their workplaces. They cannot be fired or otherwise discriminated against at work simply because they are lesbian, gay, bisexual, or transgender. This is a major civil rights opinion in the Supreme Court. It was written by Justice Neil Gorsuch and joined by Chief Justice John Roberts. Gorsuch appointed by President Trump. Chief Justice John Roberts, the leader of the conservative wing of the court. It is a 6-3 opinion, which in ringing terms holds that the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which was passed in the wake of John Kennedy's assassination and meant to address the race problem in this country, that the language, the text of that law encompasses lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender people in this country, protecting them from discrimination by their employers. It is hard to overstate the significance of this, especially since it is really a broadly based opinion. Let me just read one line from Justice Neil Gorsuch, once again appointed by President Trump. There's the Supreme Court there. He says, "Only the written word is law, and all persons are entitled to its benefit." That even though the drafters, the Congress that voted on, the president that signed that 1964 Civil Rights Act may not have had gay and transgender and lesbian people in their mind, they wrote a law that embraces them. And today, all Americans are protected from discrimination at work by that law. And I want to go to our Devin Dwyer, who covers the Supreme Court regularly for us. Devin, you and I were both in the arguments during this, and it's Justice Neil Gorsuch who writes this ringing opinion encompassing LGBT Americans under the nation's civil rights laws, protecting them from discrimination in employment. What do you make of Justice Gorsuch leading the way here?
It is extraordinary, Terry, and this 6-3 opinion, joined by the Chief Justice as well, the biggest opinion for gay rights in this country since 2015, when, of course, same-sex marriage was legalized. And this caught a lot of advocates by surprise. There was deep anxiety among the 11 million LGBT Americans in this country about whether or not this court would still stand by gay rights after Anthony Kennedy left the court. And today, it has dramatically changed that landscape. Until today, Terry, it was still legal across the country under federal law to fire an employee because they are gay, lesbian, or bisexual. This dramatically changes that, and because of Neil Gorsuch, a conservative justice on this court, simply extraordinary.
And a Westerner out of Colorado, when Justice Kennedy, who had written so many opinions vindicating the rights of LGBT Americans, left the court, a Californian, people were wondering if the court would hold to this course. They do. And I want to just read one passage from that 1964 law. This was at issue. That law in 1964, the Civil Rights Act, prohibits discrimination against any individual with respect to his compensation, terms, conditions, or privileges of employment because of such individuals' race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. And Kate Shaw, the argument of the conservatives was, well, those people could not have imagined then when putting the word sex in there, they might have meant women, but they certainly didn't mean gay Americans, which a word that didn't even exist at that time. How did they get to this point where they said that law written in that year by those people applies to our circumstances today, freeing so many people from the burden of discrimination and fear of being fired?
Well, Terry, what Justice Gorsuch says for the majority is the intentions of the people who wrote the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the understanding of Americans alive at that time actually are irrelevant. All that matters is the text that they used, and the word sex itself encompasses discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity. So if you're fired because you're a man who is married to a man, where you wouldn't be fired if you were a man who is married to a woman, that is because of sex. And so the word in the statute basically resolves the case. So it's kind of, it's a simple proposition, actually. And I think the advocates who argued the case on behalf of these plaintiffs very successfully presented this case as a simple textualist case. And Neil Gorsuch is very much a conservative, but maybe first and foremost, he identifies as a textualist. And here, this is a ringing textualist opinion, but that finds for these discrimination plaintiffs.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.